Hello everyone, this is Kevin Sánchez, and for this video I have been required to create a lesson plan, and after creating the lesson plan I have been required to create a video in which I am going to explain the lesson plan. Okay, so for this lesson plan, the tutor assigned a topic for us. So in this case, the topic that was assigned to me, it was object pronouns. So basically, the lesson plan is for that is going to be the topic for the lesson plan, object pronouns. Now, let's see the learner's level. So in this case, the level of English of these students is beginner level. So since they are in 9th grade, so that is why they are beginner level. In the class, there are 20 students, so I'm going to be teaching this class for 20 students. The class length, so I will have 45 minutes in order to deliver this class, so that is going to be the time that it's allotted to that. And as you can see here, it says teacher Kevin Sánchez, so basically that is my name. That is the name of the tutor, the teacher who will be sharing the class. In here, I have decided to add more information about the students. So as you can see here, it says the age of the students is between 15 and 17 years old. So basically that is the age of the students that are in that specific class. Also, there are only 20 students who are studying 9th grade in their English level is A1 according to the CEFR. So basically it is a beginner level that I will be teaching. So for this class, I have decided to create 3 SMART objectives. Also, I have used a SMART objective and also the Bloom taxonomy as well. So as you can see here, I have added here the 3 objectives that I had for that class. The first objective says, I understand the concept of object pronouns. The second objective says, identify and correctly use object pronouns in basic sentences. And the last objective says, apply object pronouns in simple spoken and written exercises. So probably you might be wondering, because it says simple spoken and written exercises. So in this class is not only going to be focused on written. No, this class will be focused on, this class will contain a little bit of speaking and also a little bit of writing skills. The content that I had for this class is the language function. So basically, in the language function is that students will be able to will identify and use object pronouns in simple sentences. Also, they will engage in simple interruptions using object pronouns. The language structure that I have decided to use for this specific class is that basically here I'm going to teach to my students this specific structure so that they can use object pronouns easily. So in this part, first in the structures that I have here, I have the subject, verb, and then we have the object pronoun. So additional to that, also I have here an example. So they help us. So as you can see, they is the subject, help is the verb, and us, that is going to be the object pronoun. And also here I have added another structure that we can use. Now I will start explaining the lesson plan. So in this part, in the left, I have the techniques. In the middle, I have the procedures, and in the right, I have the time and also the material that I will use for that specific class. Well, the first activity that it's going to take place in my class is going to be the warm-up activity. So for this activity first, I will have the class in circles. So basically they will create a circle in the class. And also before that, I'm going to write in the blackboard a couple of letters so that they know the letter that it will correspond to each person. So and also we will play a song. So the students will be playing with the name of the game that we are going to be playing it is called the hot potato. So I'm going to play a song, and once the song stops, so that in that way, the person who has the object in this case, which is going to be the hot potato, that person has to come to the board, and that person has to write probably that person can choose if the person wants to write a verb or if the person wants to write a noun. So, but that person has to use a specific letter. For example, let's say that we are start working first with the with the letter W. So in this case, the student may choose a verb, also a noun. So in this case, let's imagine that the student has chosen, let's say, the verb walk. And basically that is the warm-up activity. The time and material. So for the warm-up activity, I have decided to add only 5 minutes. So only 5 minutes, it is enough for the warm-up activity. And additional to that, the material that I had for that specific class, I have the Blackboard, which is something very essential. Also the markers, so those are essential things that we need to use in that specific class. And also the list of letters that will be provided in the Blackboard. After finishing, let's say, the warm-up activity, so we are going to move on to the next stage of the class, which is going to be the presentation stage. So, well, in the presentation stage, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to explain the topic to my students. Additional to that, I will try to make the topic as easy as I can. So in that way, they understand the topic better. So also in the techniques that I will use visual examples because I'm going to use a projector, and also I will use an online presentation. So in that way, they can see some visual aids there. Also, the examples that will be provided according to the topic, they will be real life examples. So in that way, they can see that we can use grammar in context. Additional to that, I will use meme to explain the pronouns. So that is something that is going to help my students to learn better. Well, in the time that has been allotted for the presentation time, I have only 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, I'm going to explain the topic and the material, and also I'm going to clarify any questions or doubts that they may have about the content that we are studying at that specific moment. Also, the material that we have for the class, we have the computer, the internet connection, and also a projector. So those are 3 key essential points that we need to use in that class. After working in the presentation time, so we are going to move on to the practice time. And well, in the practice time in this class, since there are only we have 20 students in that specific class, so I will divide the class into groups of 2 people. And also I will let my students know that for this specific activity, they will have to write the correct object pronoun to the sentences. So in this case, also something that I will highlight there is that for this activity, I will let my students know that they are allowed to work online. Also, they are allowed to work in physical, because if they want to work online, so I'm going to share a link to the worksheet, so that to the worksheet that we have in the handout, or if they want to work in the physical format, that will be okay too, because I have all the handouts printed too, so that they can work. Also, they will be encouraged to practice speaking by reading the completed sentences aloud to their peers. So basically, in that way, they will be practicing speaking, and in the other way, they will be practicing writing. So basically, the technique is that writing the appropriate object pronoun, and the time that we have for the practice time, I have 10 minutes. So 10 minutes will be used for this stage. So here you can see that we have the link to the handout. So in case they want to work online, but in case they want to work in the physical format, also they are allowed to do it too. Now we will continue here with the production time. So basically here in the production time, for this part, once again, the students will be grouped in pairs, but in this case, the pairs will be different from the ones that we had in the practice time. So if for this time, they will work with different people. So basically in this part, I will give some scenarios for my students so that they can perform a dialogue in which they use object pronouns. So, and also the scenarios also are stated here in the lesson plan. So we have, let's see, 5 different scenarios so that my students can choose a topic that they want to talk about. They want to perform a dialogue. Well, the technique is that is going to be a conversation practice, and also something that I want to mention here is that for this part, you know, there will be many groups in that specific class, and we only had 15 minutes to do so. So in that way, I will be checking the work of my students, and I will be selecting a couple of groups to pass in front of the class to perform the dialogue, because you know we don't have too much time. So that is why I will select just few groups to pass in front of the class to perform the dialogue. And basically that will be the production time. Well, then let's continue with the wrap-up activity. Well, in the wrap-up activity, I will, let's say, I will probably, once again, I will allow my students. So I will ask them if they want to work as a team, or also if they want to work by themselves. So basically, because there will be a link to for the wrap-up activity. So in the wrap-up activity, we are going to play a quiz on Wordwell, just in order to see how much knowledge they acquired during the lesson. So for this activity, for the wrap-up, I will just use only 5 minutes. The material that I will use for this specific stage, it will be a projector, computer, Wordwell quiz, and internet connection. So, but my students, they have the opportunity to choose if they want to work alone. Additional here, after that, I have the contingency plan. So, always, all the time, probably we plan something, but it at the end of the day, it happens something that we don't expect. So that is why I have decided to add a contingency plan. And well, it is for the first part, which is the presentation time. Sometimes the power is out, so the power went out. So in that way, what I'm going to do in the presentation time is that I'm going to explain the topic to my students in the board. So basically, I'm going to explain the presentation time in the board. Also, I will write the examples on the board too, and I will try to do my best in the board too, because if there is no internet connection or the power is out, the power went out. So that is why I'm going to use the blackboard that we have. Also, for the production state, probably I have decided a contingency plan too, because probably my students, they might struggle with creating the dialogue that they are going to perform in the class. So that is why, additional to that, if I see that my students are having problems, so in that way, I'm going to provide them an example so that they can follow that example in order to create the conversation about it. Also here, you can see I have the evaluation time. And basically, as you can see, this is the evaluation. Also, I have the annexes. I have the presentation. So basically, that is a presentation that I will use for that specific class. Here I have the link to the practice stage. Also, here I have the wrap-up activity. And basically, I will share with you what I have prepared here. Okay, so basically, I'm going to let my students know what are the objectives for that class and what they will be able to do at the end of that specific class. Then we are going to continue with the warm-up activity. You know what the warm-up consists on? So that is what we're going to be doing in the warm-up activity. We will be playing the hot potato. And then I will start presenting in the presentation time. So in this case, I'm going to present the topic that is object pronouns. So I'm going to make the topic, I'm going to explain the topic to my students so that they have a better idea on this topic. Then let's continue with the practice time. So the practice time, it's the handout exercises. So in here, if you click on the icon that I have here, that is going to take you directly to the link to the website where we have the handout. So in this case, I have the handout. Here I have some directions too that we have to follow in order to write the perfect, in order to work on that specific activity. So after that, in here, I have the production time. Also, I will explain to my students in which activity this consists. And after that, we will continue with the wrap-up activity. So in the wrap-up activity, as I was telling you at the beginning of the in some minutes previously, sorry, basically we will work here. We will work in this interactive quiz, which is going to be on Wordwell. So something that I want to highlight once again here is that I'm going to ask my students if they want to work online or if they want to work as a team, because if they want to work as a team, so what I will do is that I will just start projecting I will start projecting, and basically together we are going to, basically they will work together in order to work on the quiz that I have there. But if they want to work alone, so there won't be any problem too. What I will do is that I will just ask my students to, I will share a link to my students so that they can work in the wrap-up activity. So as you can see here, this activity has been designed for me because by me. So you can see here that in here it appears my name. It says Kevin Aguilar, so that is my name. So I have decided I am the owner of this activity. And basically, I'm pretty sure that now you can see the quiz here. So here we have, let's see, it says the first question says, select the appropriate object pronoun for the sentence. They invited Sarah in to the party. So basically here, my students, what they have to do is just to analyze, and then they have to decide if it is letter A, B, C, or D. So basically they have to decide which is the correct answer. So basically, and for this quiz, I have decided to add seven questions where they have to answer. And also this is going to be the last question. It says select the appropriate adjunct pronoun for the sentence. She needs help with her homework. Can you help her, him, me, or it? So basically this is the way that my students are going to work in my lesson plan. So, and also basically that has been all about this lesson plan. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time and see you next time. Bye-bye.